NFL, Aaron Rodgers has an offer from the Steelers on the table, but he's yet to accept. Meanwhile, Atlanta has put out feelers to trade Kirk Cousins. Our Jeremy Fowler said that based on conversations he had during last week's NFL meetings, Cousins is, quote, at the very least on the Steelers' radar. He lost his starting job late in 2024. That was to then rookie Michael Penix Jr. Let's bring in former Steeler, our guy, RC. Top of the morning to you, sir. Hey, RC, how we doing?
What's up, man? What's
Good.
up, bro?
How y'all guys doing? I'm gonna be honest, man. I really like the twins on the show with Kendrick because it's like real East Coast with real South. They all was tough guys. Nobody listens to Molly, so it's like everybody's Stephen A on the show. I was really enjoying just sitting back and watching this happen.
But RC, really? Like, that's where you went? Nobody listens to Molly? Seriously.
No,
Thank
I
you.
mean,
Is that ringing endorsement?
He did say that on national television. He did say that on national
Thanks,
television.
RC.
He did say that.
Stephen A was legitimately like asking, he had to ask Marcus, are you just going to ignore Molly? Because they were so fired up about the debate and the argument. I mean, I listened to you. I can't control everybody else. Basketball.
I appreciate you.
You did
me a
miss
lot of
one
favors
element.
this morning.
You did miss one element on first take. Not really asking. You know, that's the only thing you got wrong there. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
All right. S.A., I'm going to ask you something right now. Are you good with Cousins as a backup plan to Rodgers as a Steelers fan?
Me? You asking me that,
Yes,
Molly?
Stephen A. Yep. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Why the hell would you? I could have sworn you brought Ryan in to ask that question. I don't know why you would ask me that question. You mean Kirk Cousins that threw nine interceptions and one touchdown over the last 5 games? You mean that Kirk Cousins? You know, coming off the ACL injury or whatever it was. I mean, I don't have any faith in Kirk Cousins. Hell no. The only thing that I could say positively about Kirk Cousins being a Pittsburgh Steeler is that at least he's won one playoff game since 2016. The Steelers have not. That's the only thing that I could say. But in terms of his level of production, compared to what we're seeing from other quarterbacks in this league, compared to the quarterbacks that we know exist in the AFC, from Mahomes to Burrow to Lamar Jackson to Josh Allen, let's not forget C.J. Stroud, let's not forget Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa even. Everywhere you turn, it seems like everybody has a damn quarterback but the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's the only good thing that I could say about it. There's nothing that excites me, that enamors me, that tickles me in any way about Kirk Cousins being a Pittsburgh Steeler. Nothing at all.
Yeah, the drop-off of what this will say about the Pittsburgh Steelers is almost inexplicable. To go from having an opportunity to re-sign Justin Fields, not playing Justin Fields after the start of the season last year, and then ending up in a position where you do nothing this offseason to improve your quarterback room. You go back and get Mason Rudolph, who you've had in the room, who I talk to people in the building, and they say they love Mason. They trust Mason. The locker room loves Mason. I don't care if everybody loves Mason. We could do a reality show. You don't want him as your starting quarterback if you're trying to contend for a Super Bowl. And so now to say that you're waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision on whether or not he'll be your quarterback in 2025 and Kirk Cousins is the backup plan, clearly nobody watched Atlanta play last year. The best thing Atlanta did at the quarterback position was draft Michael Penix Jr., 8th overall, to be a backup plan to Kirk Cousins. And this is in no way to cast aspersions on who Kirk Cousins has been throughout his career. But after coming off the Achilles injury, seeing the way he can't move, seeing the way he can't put spin or he can't push the football down the field anymore, he won't be an upgrade over Mason Rudolph. And so to me, it's Aaron Rodgers or bust for this team.
Stephen A.,
I agree.
say what?
I don't have any disagreement. I agree. I don't have any disagreement with that at all. Look, Kirk Cousins has produced during the regular season. Unfortunately, with Kirk Cousins over the years, you found yourself thinking more about his agent than him. You're like, who the hell's representing this guy? Because the guy gets paid. He always managed to get his money. Remember when he had $84 million guaranteed before the market ballooned or what have you? You just found yourself looking at his agent and saying, damn, who's this guy? I might want him to represent me. This brother's something special right here. Whoever the hell this guy is that keeps getting Kirk Cousins his money. But we didn't look at Kirk Cousins' game, particularly in the postseason, and rave about anything. The fact is, really, really nice guy. We saw him walking off the field after the win. You like that? You like that? We saw that kind of bravado. We saw him with the chain on, dancing with the players and all of that stuff when they were winning. We didn't see him doing that the last 5 weeks of that regular season when he nosedived, okay? So it's one of those situations where you look at him and you say, look, he could play, but there's nothing really great about him, and it's far less than great come postseason.
Yeah, I got to hit the top of the hour. All I want to know is when is Aaron Rodgers going to make his decision? Like, how long is he going to hold this organization hostage?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the point I want to get to, though, Molly. Doesn't it feel like we're talking about how far the mighty have fallen? Like, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
This is an organization that's only had 3 coaches over the last century. Right? They're the picture of stability. They're the picture of understanding how an organization is supposed to be run. And so to have Aaron Rodgers out here doing podcasts and doing appearances and talking about, no, I won't go to Chicago, or I might be with the team that plays in Chicago, throwing with DK Metcalf. Let's do business as business should be done and find a person to man that quarterback room and find a way to win.
Yeah. RC, hold that thought. I appreciate you listening right there.
I love Mike Tomlin and what he's done with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers? And if he does, do you think it works?
I do think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go play for the Steelers. I can't see Omar Khan, Art Rooney, and Mike Tomlin waiting this long or not making any moves to address the quarterback position if they haven't had some sort of indication that he will be there. And this is what I think. I watched him play down the stretch. Aaron Rodgers can still throw the football. Does Arthur Smith have enough around him to make this team a championship contender? Because if they're just 9-8, if they're just 10-7, and they're home in the first round of the playoffs again, it doesn't matter that Aaron Rodgers is there, because they're in the same position year after year, still looking for a franchise quarterback.
Sharpe, give Marcus the date that we have our eye on in June.
Steelers have a mandatory minicamp June 10th to June 12th. We are May 27th. So I would think that in the next 10 days, the chances are we'll hear something from Aaron Rodgers, because it's hard to imagine that he's going to sign with the Steelers this year and then skip the mandatory minicamp where he'd have a chance to work with his new teammates, his new coaches, new outfits. I think we hear something from Aaron Rodgers here in the next couple of weeks.
Or that he doesn't sign by then, right? I mean, you're going to miss absolutely everything in the offseason. All right, the Win Man, one more. Win Man's got a football question. Go.
Shefty, how do they give Myles Garrett in Cleveland the biggest contract in the history of defense and then have a 40-year-old or a middle-round rookie quarterback? Make it make sense.
Well, they were going to do whatever it took to appease Myles Garrett and to make sure that he stayed there in Cleveland. Amazing how much his tone changed almost overnight, from going from a guy who wanted nothing to do with the Browns to becoming the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. And so they're going through their process. Let's keep in mind, the Browns are positioned next year to have 2 first-round picks in a draft that's going to be rich at quarterback. They may have hit this year on Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. We don't know yet. But if they didn't, then they'll be set up next year to get another quarterback. So they're well positioned here for the next couple of years. When you have a player like Myles Garrett, who means so much to that team and that city, Windy, it's not ideal, but you got to go pay the guy and make sure he's not going anywhere. If he gets out the door, it sends a bad message to everybody about being there.
I will also say Shedeur Sanders is a first-round pick, masquerading as a fifth-round pick. I don't care what anybody says. Big Perk, put a ribbon on all of it.
Well, that was my question right there. I was going to ask Shefty and RC, who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Does Shedeur Sanders have a legit shot at being the starting quarterback?
The starting quarterback in the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell. He is the starting quarterback in the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland Browns.
Hey,
my bad.
Shedeur is the starter. Hey, you do a lot of basketball, Perk. That's all right. First of all, with the money Myles Garrett got, that can make Cleveland look like Maui. Believe that, and you'll stay for no matter what the offense looks like. I believe Shedeur Sanders becomes the starting quarterback of this team. He has the leadership, he has the understanding, has the anticipation, he has the accuracy. He knows what it takes to lead a locker.
Đơn giản từ len nhá. Nguyên liệu của mình đây nhá, mình sẽ sử dụng 3 màu sắc len như thế này để làm. Màu xanh này, màu trắng và màu vàng kết hợp lại với nhau nhá. Dùng kim móc len, kéo. Rồi bây giờ sẽ bắt tay vào làm. Đầu tiên để làm tấm lót cốc thì mình sẽ sử dụng cái tông màu vàng đi. Mình sẽ gỡ len ra để dùng nhé. Bây giờ sẽ móc một cái hình tròn cho nha mọi người. Bây giờ mình móc vào. Bây giờ móc vào đây. Bây giờ móc những mũi nửa kép xuống, cứ lần lượt cho đến hết nha. Móc xuống này. Đây, được mũi nửa kép như thế này. Tiếp tục những mũi nữa cũng y như vậy. Mọi người móc cho đến khi được hình tròn thì thôi. Tiếp nha mọi người. Đấy, mình móc vòng quanh. Tiếp nha.